Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those of you guys that celebrate, for those of you guys that are here in the U.S., and for those of y'all that are not in the U.S., I do hope that you guys ate a lot of good food and enjoyed yourself. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a case that happened earlier this year or came out to the public earlier this year in Australia. So shout out to all my friends out there in Australia. I know y'all have been blowing up about this case. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the case of Erin Patterson. My mind has just been circulating, thinking, I've been researching, trying to find out every little bit of information that I can about this because I can't understand it. You know, when you hear about certain situations, you're like, it just doesn't make sense, but yet it happened. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. Erin Patterson is 49 years old and was living in Victoria, which is about 85 miles outside of Melbourne, Australia. Now, Erin is a mother of two, and she was married to a man named Simon Patterson, but they recently divorced. Now, from everything that I could find out there right now, it shows that they could have divorced amicably. You're going to want to stay to the end though. So we'll just start with that part, that everything that I could find said that their divorce was amicable. However, the split between Erin and Simon allegedly caused tension in the family between Erin and Simon's family, which happens a lot, right? You have the husband, his whole side of the family. As soon as the husband and wife split, the husband's side of the family is now not favorable, and now they come out and tell you everything they've been thinking about your wife, now ex-wife, the whole time you guys were together. Now, because of this tension between her and her ex's family, she decided that she was going to cook a nice lunch, invite everybody over, they would sit down and talk, just try to, casually smooth things out, and just show that there really shouldn't be any tension. So on July 9th, she planned this lunch. The people that were invited was her ex-husband, Simon, of course, Dawn and Gail Patterson, who are Erin's ex-in-laws, and Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, and her husband, Ian Wilkinson. Now, this family get-together or this family lunch was planned for July 9th of this year. Simon, her ex-husband, was not able to make it, and her two kids actually went to the movies. So the only people that showed up was, of course, Erin, because it was her house and she was cooking the meal, and her ex-in-laws, the mom and the dad, and then the mom's sister and her husband. So there was 5 of them total that came to this lunch. For the meal that Erin made was a beef Wellington. And I mean, a lot goes into this, like beef Wellington. It is a very, like a nice dish considered by a lot of people that eat it. I would compare it to, like in my family, what we would cook like a rib roast, right? It takes a lot of time and thought and preparation to go into making this beef Wellington. Now, all 4 of them came over, they ate with Erin, the food was delicious, everything seemed to go well until the next day. The next day, all 4 people that attended the lunch became violently ill, and they were taken to the hospital for symptoms similar to food poisoning. Medics that treated the 4 later said that the symptoms were actually consistent with poisoning from death cap mushrooms. Now, let me tell you guys about these death cap mushrooms because I was shocked to hear this. These death cap mushrooms, which are actually not even allowed into a lot of countries and a lot of places because they are so poisonous. 90% of fatal poisonings from mushrooms come from just these death cap mushrooms. They're obviously not sold in stores because they're dangerous. And if you ingest even the liquid that these mushrooms are cooked in, it can kill you. Like literally, boil a couple of these mushroom caps and take a sip of the liquid and you're going to be violently ill and possibly even pass away. Highly poisonous. However, these death cap mushrooms grow wildly right near where Erin lives at. A few days after the meal, on August 4th, 70-year-old Gail Patterson and her 66-year-old sister passed away while they were still in the hospital. Heather's husband, 68-year-old Ian, who is actually a pastor, was in critical condition and eventually recovered after spending almost 2 months in the hospital. And then on August 5th, 70-year-old Dawn Patterson passed away. So now Simon, Erin's ex-husband's mom, dad, and aunt all passed away after eating beef Wellington at his ex-wife's house. The same day that Dawn passed away, the police became suspicious and decided to interview Erin. Erin was questioned by homicide investigators and was later released without any charges. But a few days later, on August 7th, police told local media that Erin is indeed a suspect in the case because she was the one who cooked the meal. However, detectives did clarify that it could have been an innocent mistake and that the case is extremely complex. Now, at first when I was researching this from here, I thought, what a horrible mistake, okay? Because at first I didn't realize that these mushrooms actually grow wild right by where Erin lives, which is suspicious. But then again, just because they grow wild there doesn't mean that they didn't get mixed in. It doesn't mean that somebody very evil didn't go and pick them and put them in a package in a store. I mean, really anything could have happened until I seen Erin's interview. And when I saw Erin's interview, it just made me uncomfortable. So the same day that the investigators released this statement about her being a suspect, the media was able to catch her getting out of her car, and she gave a quick statement to the media. And you guys just watch this and tell me what you think.
It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Dawn. Dawn is still in hospital. The loss of Ian and Heather and Gail, who were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
and the loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray that he pulls through, because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
I
kids?
just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from? Were they picked from the property area?
I just ask you to leave me alone now, please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope that with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
do the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Erin?
Just 4 days later, after that little statement that she actually gave another statement and said that she would have no reason at all to hurt the people that she loved. After 2 months of forensic testing, it was finally settled that yes, the 3 people that passed away from mushroom poisoning. On November 2nd of 2023, Erin was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. When questioned, Erin said that she used button mushrooms from the grocery store and dried mushrooms from an Asian grocery store that she had bought months prior. Now, I found that very intriguing that she threw in the Asian grocery store because I shop at an Asian grocery store too. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. They have all kinds of produce and stuff from all around that most big grocery stores don't have. And a lot of the times they're just in bags with labels written on them or something like that. And so for her to throw that in there, it almost seemed kind of smart on her part. However, the investigators went and checked, and the Asian grocery store that she allegedly bought mushrooms from and bought stuff from, and the other grocery stores that she shopped at said, listen, we haven't had any recalls. We haven't had anybody else get sick. We don't know where she got those mushrooms from. Then as the investigators began to look more deep into it, this is when Erin said, listen, I fed that same beef Wellington to my kids. However, I did scrape the mushroom gravy off because my kids don't like mushrooms. When Erin's home was searched, investigators found a food dehydrator in the trash. When they asked Erin about it, she said that it was hers, but that she got rid of it in a panic after the deaths. She said that she was afraid that her ex-husband, Simon, would blame her for his parents' deaths and try to get full custody of their 2 children. Then, one of Erin's neighbors came forward and said that Erin was an experienced mushroom forager and that they knew for sure that she went out and picked mushrooms and that they just could not believe that this was an accident. Other neighbors also came forward and said that on October 31st, Erin knew that she was about to be arrested, and so she threw a party for her closest trusted friends, which they thought seemed very weird, especially given the circumstances. Now, shockingly, court documents also show that prosecutors are accusing Erin of attempting to kill her ex-husband Simon on 3 different occasions between November 2021 and September of 2022. It is said that Simon actually almost died from gastric-related complications during that time period. He even spent 21 days in intensive care after collapsing from a mystery stomach illness in his home of May of this year. And they're alleging that this meal of the beef Wellington would have been Erin's 4th attempt to kill her ex-husband. You guys, can you imagine? Like, most of us think there's no way. How dumb would you have to be to do this? You think nobody's going to notice? Well, let me tell you a couple things. First thing is, as I was looking into these death cap mushrooms, mushroom poisoning is unique because food poisoning, it can hit you within hours, right? And if you ever had food poisoning, if you haven't, I hope you never get it because it is miserable, okay? But with the mushroom poisoning, it doesn't set in until way later, the next day. And by the time you start having symptoms, it's already worked its way into your liver, your intestines. And again, they're very, very deadly. Even the liquids that they're cooked in can kill you. And it's pretty crazy. And if you think about the fact that it is possible that she has tried to kill him multiple times before. This man, okay, let's just say it was true. This man thought he had all kind of gastro issues, okay? He was going to the doctor, collapsing, 21 days in ICU, and was she the one making his food to help him feel better? Now, I also saw that her parents passed away, and she got a huge settlement from it. As a matter of fact, one of the townhomes that she owned, she just sold since all of this has been going on. And I think she got like $1 million from it. Not the house that she was living in, but she owned something else. So she had investments and money. And allegedly, when her parents died, they left her like this huge fortune. People are speculating that did she have something to do with that as well? There's some people that are even calling for their bodies to be like exhumed and re-examined. But then as I tried to dig into that, I saw that allegedly her parents passed from cancer. And then I'm just speculating here. I don't know, because I don't even know if she did any of this. She is still, waiting to go to trial and everything. I think it's going to be pretty easy for them to, I would think, especially if they can prove her ex-husband's sickness, if they can find any kind of mushrooms in any of his blood work or anything like that, she's going to be found guilty. But as far as her parents passing from cancer, I was thinking, like, if they were already ill, right, and they were already struggling, if this is how it really went, and she decided to just feed them something to push them, across that line, if you know what I mean. No doctors would have probably ever tested, right? If they had cancer and they passed away, they're just going to assume that it's from cancer. I don't know. It is strange, y'all. And when I saw that interview with her, I thought, that is creepy. I have so many questions still. I want to know why they got a divorce. I want to know why there was tension between her and the other family members, because obviously they were somewhat a decent people. They were willing to come over and eat her cooking. I didn't even know these death cap mushrooms existed until now. Talk about going to somebody's house and eating their food. I mean, goodness. And you wouldn't even know you're sick until way later, until the poison has already worked its way into your organs. Scary. Have y'all heard about this? What do y'all think? Any of my friends out there from Australia know more information than what we're seeing? Let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love you guys. I will be following this case. Y'all have a great weekend. Again, I hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll see y'all next week. Love you guys. Bye.